tokenized whitelisting. There's this very long process on Ethereum, Solana, where you have to get whitelisted in order to obtain the NFT. But you could tokenize that, and by tokenizing whitelisting, we could be ahead of the curve and be the first NFT on the XRPL. That's what we did with our team. We brought the token to the market, issued 5,000 tokens. About 24 hours go by, we hit a market cap of 12 million. But while doing this process of the tokenization of whitelisting, it also brought in a lot of scamful actors. So what we thought, what if we create a safer space for both investors and these projects to thrive? Which we did. We created a curated, decentralized exchange for all these whitelist tokens to be tradable. So our goal is really to make blockchain accessible for everyone, for low complexity, high complexity, and I even tested it out on my mom, and she knew how to do it. So to go back to your point, the future of NFTs, obviously the profile pictures NFTs, that's not where the future lies, but NFTs are a very interesting technology. You can store something on the blockchain, and that means ownership. Notaries, for example, are not going to be very happy in the near future because those contracts are going to be done on the blockchain. You can even fractionalize those contracts, making even like investing in real estate much more accessible, because you could, for example, with 30 friends, buy the contract, NFT, store it on the blockchain, fractionalize it, and spread all the tokens or the funds that you achieve from rent, spread it all out over those people that hold the fraction of an NFT. So I really think that the future of NFTs is proof of ownership.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another entertaining live stream. Today I have with me the one and only Kaj Leroy. Kaj, how you doing today, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. And for those of you who aren't in the audience who are unfamiliar, Kaj, you're the CEO, the man at the helm, the founder of XPUNKS, Eden, and some other really interesting projects like onXRP. I was hoping, let's kick things off with a little bit of a backstory on who you are and what you've got cooking as of late, sir.
Yeah. Always cooking, of course. No, it's
on that point. Actually, when we had the opportunity of getting together in Portugal for that conference, I had the opportunity of eating your delicious foods, and you are a great chef, by the way.
Great. Yeah. So, who am I? Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I just like to build stuff with our amazing community, in which we've been doing for the last 2.5-3 years. We launched October 2021 with XPUNKS, and now it resulted in us having a multitude of projects that are currently live with onXRP, that's soon to be rebranded to Bits, which is going to be extremely exciting. Then we have Eden, that's still being built out, even though some massive setbacks that I talked about with the community. So it's definitely been an interesting journey. We're far from done. We're still here, even though some of the floor prices are down, vibes are still up. We're still grinding, and there's no turning back.
The vibes are definitely high, just as high as your XPUNKS collection that landed on the moon. Let's talk about that. Congratulations to you guys. I felt like I had front row tickets to watching you guys, because I've been following a lot of these rocket launches as of late, and to see that you guys were participating with I believe, was it a NASA or SpaceX launch?
Yeah, so it was the IM2 mission, so Intuitive Machines mission, which was basically in partnership with NASA. Intuitive Machines is a company that basically built a moon lander that landed there. So they have a contract with NASA to launch this into orbit, and they use a SpaceX rocket, and we were part of the commercial payload of that lander, basically. And I believe there were 8 commercial payloads, and one of them was the Lunar Prize, which was done by Space Blue, and we were part of that, and it's pretty beautiful. So we landed the 22nd of the second month of February, and there's 222 artists on board. So it's both 222, and we are the 45th, also the last NFT collection that got on there. So 45 NFTs, and we are the only full collection. This is it.
Yeah, and looking at this, not only are you, is your collection up there, but it looks like you're up there with other artists, including Mick Jagger, Jimi Hendrix, Van Gogh. I mean, this is awesome. how did XPUNKS get a seat at the table to be amongst? I mean, I know you guys are living legends, but how did this occur? This is amazing.
Yeah, I still, every time I see the moon, I'm like, "Fuck, dude, we're on there." You know, it's sick. No, so basically, what happened is, so we did this billboard campaign back in 2021 at the end. I think it was like December, and we rented a billboard Times Square. You know, we thought we were the shit because everything was just pumping and pumping. Best of Borat happening, and so we thought, let's just do a billboard on Times Square and try and reach Elon Musk. So we did that. I had a billboard for a full week. People thought, you guys are sort of wasting money. What are you doing? And we're like, no, we're a team with a dream, and we want to go into space, And basically, a year passed by. We didn't hear anything. Then somebody that I met at a conference, he looked on my Instagram, and he said, "Are you serious, guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious, of course." And he connected me to another guy, who connected me to another guy, and basically got the ball rolling. And suddenly, we're talking to this guy called Dallas Santana, who was basically he is the founder of Space Blue, and they have the purpose of preserving humankind's history together with Luna Prize and the Arch Mission Foundation. So super cool shit. Very futuristic. And yeah, we were part of the first US-led mission to the moon since Kennedy's famous speech.
Wow, what an incredible feat. What were the feelings like when you guys watched the rocket take off, and then tell me about when the moon lander landed as well, because I think you guys had visibility up until the very just till touchdown, I believe.
Incredible. No, we were invited to this house from Nova Spivak, who is the founder and CEO of the Arch Mission Foundation, and it was a very, I'd say, cozy setting, because it was literally just a house, and he has a view. I think it was an Airbnb. I'm not sure it was his house or not, but he has a view like directly on the launch pad. So we had this Native American playing drums, who also has his artwork there, this very famous Native American, and then other artists around there. We were standing next to Scott Page from Pink Floyd, Geraldo, who was the drummer of Jimi Hendrix, like some really cool people. And we had a direct view on the launch pad, and it was night. So we were all together talking, TV is, max volume, counting down. And then suddenly, like after like 5, 4, then suddenly the whole sky lit up like it was sunrise. It was insane how much power are behind these rockets and how much light it emits, especially in the dark. We were sitting at like 7, 8 kilometers, and like the entire sky. It was super sick. We saw it go up in the middle of the air. Like suddenly, then it goes quiet. Then boom, you see the booster go back to Earth. And after like 10 seconds after it lands, you just hear this massive boom. And then, that means that it like breaks orbit. And then it's on its way, and it's literally in space.
Wow, what an incredible story and an awesome opportunity for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you guys are always on the cusp of something incredible as well. Even the inception of XPUNKS was a rocket ride for you guys, where you launched your collection on a social media campaign, generated 3,000 followers, I think in real time, and then that soon, in the next 24 hours, you pumped up to $12 million market cap, and then I think after that, the next stop was 100 million. Am I correct if I'm wrong?
Yeah, I was completely crazy, and it all happened. There was a simple airdrop that, like, it was such a interesting time, because I was just done with my previous startup. Well, I wasn't done. I actually got done after XPUNKS took off, but it was just a mess at that previous startup, and so there was no income for me. I had no student loans. I was done with my master, and I really didn't want to work, for somebody else. So then I remembered, like, hey, Ripple announced this 250 million creator fund. And in addition to that, there was this whole airdrop craze going on already on the XRPL with tokens launching and just booming. And there were like a couple tokens that just like reached like 10, 20 mil market caps with just a very simple linked to a PowerPoint presentation. I was like, what is this? Like, how is this actually happening? And then taking into account that NFTs were gonna be a thing, there was a bull run on the XPL happen, which was a lot of fun. And then I just thought, okay, what if you just tokenize the whole whitelisting part? You just issue tokens, and then when NFTs goes live, you get to exchange a token for the NFT. Basically, what Solana and Ethereum did 2 years later with the SPL 44 tokens. It's very similar thing, only then it doesn't go two ways. But yeah, we called it IOU, tokenized whitelisting, however you want to phrase it. So yeah, I issued them.
What inspired you to do that very instance for the whitelisting? Do you mind talking about that function and the purpose that drove you guys to I'd say underscore that specific utility or that functionality?
Yeah, so basically we just wanted to be first. Being first is always a good thing to be, and there were no NFTs on the XRPL, so we wanted to be first with something that gives you that edge, and that edge we got. Until this date we are still the number one project.
Well,
I think that has to do something with it.
No,
Not
absolutely.
anymore, but in the beginning, definitely.
No, most definitely. But I believe what inspired you guys was there any friction in the market that you had seen on other chains like Ethereum, where there's that whitelisting process, it can take much longer, and I believe you guys were here to transform that as well, and streamline that process.
Yeah, basically what you create by tokenizing whitelisting, you create a free market based on these tokens. Like there are at like the current meta, and then also back then was, you have this whitelist, you over allocate, and then people start fighting for these spots. And then at some point when a mint happens, actually, people mint, some people get it, some people don't, people ape in, it pumps basically if you have enough demand. That's how the meta was. But what if you skip all that and you just basically create a tokenized version of that, meaning that people can already freely trade the whitelist spots before the mint is happening? It's an extra level of degeneracy that adds into play, right? And it worked very well, because the thing is, NFTs are in essence are not very liquid, and meaning that it's harder to sell, harder to buy, which goes both ways. It's easier to pump, but it's also easier to dump. But if you create something that's liquid and you have an order book where people can just sell into and buy into, then it's a lot easier to create a liquid environment where people actually trade. So you saw, especially in the first few weeks, that XPUNKS as a token, we were like 50, 60, 70% of the daily DEX volume on the XPL, which was a lot of fun, of course.
That's funny. I'm looking at. I got a message from Keen pop in, and I hope he's doing well. Doing well out there. But I do have to highlight the fact that the reason why I have this your website up on screen for xpunks.club. It seems like as of late you guys have shifted gears towards doing more of a like event management or coordination, execution. AKA, let's call it throwing raves. What
it is how it is.
What inspired you guys to go down this route, and then how does this relate to any utility functions provided by the XRPL or blockchain? Are you guys using DLT or these new systems for ticketing purposes? Just curious, how does this relate to the ecosystem?
Yeah, no, like at the end, those raves are obviously not our core business. Definitely not. It's a spend. It's not an income stream. Maybe we're working on something to do something more consistent, actually. But the thing with like every NFT project is in essence is an online community, right? And at some point you want people to actually see each other, because like our first event, you saw that people like saw each other for the first time, and actually creates a very tight group. That same group that showed up there is still active in our Discord. And I think if you connect more on a physical level outside of your screens, that creates creates also a better experience online. And that part is often basically let go in an easy way, I'd say, for other NFT projects, like more the general terms. So what you'll see then is more of a conference setting. You have your cocktails, you have your bites, you'll stand, you'll talk, and that's it. But we wanted to go to the extra mile by actually doing something that is, an experience. And an experience that we love as a team is always, like raves. We used to go to a lot of raves when we were younger. We have Louis DJing. I'm DJing a little bit, not at his level, obviously, but a little bit. And it's just a fun and engaging experience. And for us, it's a way also to come together, And what you see happening during these events is that people are fighting to get the people there. Because, for example, at Consensus, we did our last event. The thing is, if you're throwing an event, there's another 20, 30 blockchains or projects that also throw an event at the same moment, So you need to fight for the attention. Just like it's online, it's a constant battle for attention, and attention, in essence, is a currency. So how are you going to attract those people if you are an NFT project that is maybe not too well known in the space, especially not on ETH or Solana, but you still want to attract those people? Like, how are you going to do that? So you're going to have to be doing something authentic. And that's why we went to rave route, is because we're doing shit that's authentic. We're attracting people away from because at the end, you're competing for attention. And, it's a concept that has been proven. And especially in the rave culture, it's always very community-centric, community-like, Like, I've never seen a fight at a rave, ever. It's always very lovable. And, of course, you can say it's the drugs or whatever. Well, at our events where we obviously behave. But it is a very similar setting. And I think that is awesome. And the product is that's small. The product is
I have
that people. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are you sure you're always behaving, Kai? I'm just saying.
No, I'm not. I'm not sure.
Is this the same Louis who's mashing the records over here on far left?
Yeah, that's the same Louis.
Look at that.
I hope he's watching. I don't think he will like this picture.
Maybe he'll like this one better. But this
nice.
is
Jordan. I haven't spoken to him a year.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but this was speaking of community and an event. It was a really great time brushing elbows with you guys at the Global Investor Conference. I think this was it 2022 now, so nearly 2 years ago. Look how much younger look how much more hair I have in my head. But anyways, this was a great time, and I'm thankful for how, just by participating and engaging in this community, I've been able to cross paths and learn from individuals like you that are leading the helm on some significant trends that I believe are going to impact many sectors. I was hoping that, through, I know that NFTs are more than JPEGs, which I know the XPUNKS kind of, they pioneered for the chain. But I was hoping, what other kind of functionalities, and let me pull this off screen here. What kind of other functionalities do you believe that are that NFTs will drive, that will well position the XPUNKS community and others?
Yeah, so like you have the obvious first one, which is the PFP angle, which I still think is a very strong angle. Even though my old video, I said it is not the future. I don't think it is the future in essence that it will eat up everything. But I do think PFPs are here to stay. Because it is basically what you also seen going on with meme coins. People are looking for online communities and do degenerate shit together. That stuff is gonna stay. And NFTs are in addition to that, they're the actual face of a community, and you can actually identify yourself as a community member based on these PFPs. It's your online personality, and that's one thing that anyone that lives online finds very important, because they want to be identified in the way they feel they want to be identified, because that's the beauty of the internet. You can identify as anything you want, And
yeah, you're absolutely right. I have on screen, and not to cut you off, is some wonderful identifiers for community members in the XRPL community and beyond. You've got Mr. Intuitive that you've created a PFP for, and many others. I'm thankful that you've even given me a profile pic, and look, there's David Schwartz. But anyways, sorry to cut you off. You can continue.
Yeah, no worries. No, so I think PFP is like the obvious first one. I do think they're gonna be back, especially the NFT, like the whole meme coin craze is the proof of that. It's gonna go to NFTs. It's just a matter of when.
Do you think
And
there's going to be
then,
a return in the market? Because it seems like there's been the wind has
oh
been
yeah,
taken
NFTs
out
are
of the
doing shit
sails.
right now. They're
Yeah, I was
doing
going to say,
complete shit.
what's going on? What do you think's causing such a significant pullback in this adoption or this sentiment for NFTs, or at
It's the
least
cycle.
the art ones?
It's the cycle. Like, we're still pretty premature within blockchain, especially on the degen side of blockchain, and then you're looking more like all focus is now on meme coins. So you just see happening. People think, hey, this coin is gonna go up. I don't have any more liquidity to spare, so I'm gonna sell an NFT. Basically, that's what's happening. Like, all the attention goes to meme coins, and NFT floor prices go down very quickly because of the illiquidity. There's only 10,000 XPUNKS. You need 100 people to dump a floor, like 80% probably. But you can also have 100 people to pump a collection like 10x. That's the beauty of illiquidity, but also the downside. But then again, if you, I like for NFTs in general, I do think that one aspect that played a role, so that it lost focus or that it lost attention, is the fact that there were so many founders that raised 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 mil, and then they show a hoodie. It's like they'll give their community a hoodie, they'll throw the vet, and they think it's done. And those expectations, like, people got a lot smarter, I believe, and they're not just gonna fall for big promises. I think the narrative is gonna change into like products and projects and companies that actually prove themselves through adoption, through this track record of what they've been doing in the bear market. And like, look at, for example, Pudgy Pigments. They've been killing it in the sales of toys, physical things. Same for Claynosaurus. I know that they're like building crazy, and that's the IP route, another very interesting angle for NFTs. But then you also have the gaming route, and there's some really cool games being built. You have Shrapnel, you have Star Atlas, like sick games, high budget, and those are like more plays where you see that founders raise maybe 10, 20 mil, but they actually spend it on development. And even though development takes time, even though people lose attention, which is also obviously causing floor price to decrease, at the end, I do think that the narrative will steer more into teams that have actually been building, teams that that are in the trenches with the community, teams that are still with the community and not just show up again when the attention goes into NFTs. So I do think it's gonna be a change for the better. Less projects, but the projects that are there are going to be better. And that's why I'm so fucking pumped for our future, because I do believe that the narrative is going to go back to NFTs at some point. And, we're going to be there for it. We've been building like crazy, like we still have sleepless nights like we've had in the beginning. We've been grinding like hours and hours and hours on end. And
I can
we're not going anywhere.
relate with you. I'm proud to hear that, guy, because it's inspiring, and I hope you know that there's others that are right alongside you in the trenches, staying up way past their bedtime to deliver the following day. But hey, I had up on screen here, since on the topic of gaming, I know that you guys are building a game called Eden. I really love that name, by the way. Which I'm building an Eden at home, but she's got 2 legs and a 24-hour clock. She doesn't stop. I wonder who she gets it from. But anyways, let's talk about some of the things that you're also working on outside of XPUNKS. Before we shift gears, because you did talk about liquidity, and I want to make sure that we put a pin on this conversation of, and we'll come back to it, as far as the liquidity that you are seeing going through the onXRP decks that you guys built. But before that, let's dive into, on the topic of Eden and the games that you guys are building. What inspired you to go down this path? Is there something about gaming that you guys see a potential for that's significant? Food for thought. I had the opportunity of interviewing a gentleman named Miguel Villas. He was a former Ripple executive. He was, I believe, head of XRPL markets, formerly from CME. Think of that recent news that came out. But ultimately, when I interviewed him, he mentioned that he was a big believer in the growth potential of blockchain gaming. And now, seeing that you guys are also building right alongside him, because I believe he's the company that he works for will come to me, but I think it's actually 40 games. But regardless, though, what is it about Eden that gets you most excited? Why are you focusing on the sector? Let's talk about Eden.
Yeah.
Not my daughter.
So no, I think gaming is the most obvious play for NFTs because the online economy within games is insane. That is a huge economy, and you can monetize that by adding proof of ownership to the mix and authenticity. Um, so why we started Eden is like we all, like the entire team are big gamers. We still game. We're gonna be doing streams like I think starting next week or the week after, maybe September. I don't know. We're preparing our streams, so we're gonna be streamers. We just love gaming, and we game.
What
Always been
game?
gaming.
What games?
Currently it's mostly Warzone and Golf with Friends. Golf with Friends
Okay.
is like killer game. It's super like basic, but it's so
Yeah.
much fun. So basically we are a group of gamers and we always wanted to create this certain game. So we were ideating back in, I think it was the end of 2021, with the team of Centrex into getting like this scope, this idea out there. And then we came up with Eden. And Eden is a survival extraction shooter, and you have NFTs in the mix. So basically it's you hop into the game, you have your weapons who are NFTs, and you have to find the exit. In the meantime, you can loot, you can kill other players or NPCs. And if you find something and find the exit, you get to keep those NFTs. So it's a very high stakes, high risk battle royale kind of game mode. But then with NFTs in the mix, it makes it very interesting because there's already some successful extraction shooters like you have DMZ and Call of Duty. You have Escape from Tarkov, and those are obviously massively successful. But the thing of what it lacks there is like, okay, you go into the game mode, you have your gear, then you successfully extract, and you have all this loot. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with it? Then you have to do the same thing. But there's no really no exit plan, right? But with us, we created this. We are creating this metaverse area where you can walk around, you can brag. One very important currency for gamers is bragging rights. So obviously we got that in there. And then secondly is you have the weapons that you got out, they're an NFT, so you're able to sell them. They hold value. And I think that is a very interesting angle where you create this open economy based on in-game assets in a semi-decentralized way. And I think that's just very cool. So we've been building this. We've had some, like I told the community as well, we had some major setbacks. Thankfully, we solved them. We now have very talented in-house game studio, basically. I believe currently 4 people working there, so it's not a massive team, but it's good enough to get us over the line. And they're super talented. They're working very productively, so I can really not wait to showcase everyone like where we are at currently.
Would you mind?
We're still some, huh?
Would you mind sharing what some of those setbacks may be been caused by, or maybe some learning lessons that you're willing to share?
So I cannot share
Okay.
that yet because of
Okay.
legal reasons. So I think you might know where I'm going with this. But
Okay,
I
got it.
cannot share anything yet because of legal reasons. But I hope to be able to share anything in the next couple months. Regardless, we have full ownership over the team, the product. So the one thing that I always stand by and stood by is, like when we make a promise to the community and people, count on us, then like no matter what, we're going to try and make it work. And we've had some really, really bad setbacks that I can't wait to share because now it's just my word against, this, which, not everybody will believe, which is fine and fair enough. But at some point, like in the near future, I'll be able to share everything. And also make hopefully everybody proud of what we created.
Oh, you know what, Kai? I think many of us are proud of you. It takes a lot of effort to chip away at this on a day by day basis, and in a market that's nascent and rapidly evolving. So kudos to you and your team for just the resilience and dedication and talent. You guys are very talented. That's why I appreciate the things and content that you put out. When you talk about in-game apps and NFT or in-game purchases, NFTs, I believe you're talking about the ability to purchase like the skins or maybe the dance moves or other types of qualities and characteristics that, let's just say, for instance, this gentleman that's on screen right now, maybe that was a premium outfit that the the gamer had to purchase. Can you go in a little bit more details on, you know, what may have inspired you to go this route? Was there anybody in the marketplace, like for instance, I believe Fortnite, you can do, you know, they're one of the leaders in in-game purchases, and so is that where you guys sought your inspiration from, uh, trying to emulate? Well, what is it about in-game apps and the type of volume of transactions that, you know, you guys, or the market share that you guys are aiming for?
Yeah. So no, those are great questions. And one thing that I, as a gamer, always hate is if games, and it sounds very hypocritical because at the end, you know, game needs to make money to continue to build, but at the end, the game is the most important part. So we're not looking at any monetization yet. We first want to get this game out there and, you know, generate users. And if people find it a fun game to play, they're gonna attract more users and more gamers. And, you know, at some point, you have this target audience that you can actually monetize to, instead of focusing too much on in the beginning. So the game is going to be free to play as well, you know. So I think that is a very important thing to take into account. So for us, basically, we're even going to give away for free a 3D interpretation of your Xbox to be played in Eden. Also, not gonna charge anything for that. And I think that's cool because, you know, people count on us. People buy an Xpunk, even though they don't buy it from us. Like, we still feel a sense of responsibility if they buy an Xpunk, because, you know, we have to make another person proud. But we will continue to do that. And for us, what the inspiration for Eden mostly was just, you know, being able to dive into this digital world in a way that makes sense with your friends. And basically, a good game for us always has two things. One is you need to be able to it needs to be competitive, and the second thing is you need to be able to fuck your friends over, because that makes a fun game, right? So you need to be able to be better than your friends, and you need to be able to, you know, screw them. If you look at all the top titles, you know, they all have those two aspects, and at the core, it is just, you know, having fun and, you know, banter with your friends, because that's what it's all about, whether it's online or, you know, in real life. And I think that is a very important thing, and especially when you've been in the trenches with games for a long time, like I have, you know, like all the online communities, they all started with gaming, you know, like look at RuneScape, look at Tibia, World of Warcraft, like all those games, they created massive communities early on. Look at Pokemon. You know, I remember being on forums, you know, getting through getting through the wildy, getting to the next level, hitting the Dragon Slayer with RuneScape, all that shit, you know. It all starts with internet communities. And if you have a fun and engaging world to play in, so one that have a social area, two that has an area where you can screw your friends, and then now three with NFTs as well, you know, being able to earn a buck on the side, I think that's a cool combination.
Oh, I don't think there would be any feeling better than getting paid to own your friends in a video
Right?
game.
Right?
You
That's
know,
the dream.
it's a dream. It really is. Honestly, Kai, there is you're taking me back to even my youth. I grew up playing Counter-Strike with my friends,
Oh,
and we were, you know, we had our own, you know, obviously our computers at our homes, and so we'd play games. But the best was when we had LAN games. We would go
yeah.
either to our house, our friends' houses, and
Yeah.
bring our equipment,
The
or we'd
Dust
go
2 map.
yeah. Oh man, Dust
Yeah.
2. What about the
Office.
yeah, that and Snow, Office, the what was it, the sniper maps, which were, I don't know, I just love playing sniper and all the
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. You have the
But
AWP matches. You have the
yeah,
Deagle headshot only. Yeah. That's
you
good shit.
you know exactly what's going on, Kai. And but those were some really great moments. So that I relate to you, and I think is that kind of what solidified your relationship with many of you and the your team members, is because you guys have some history. You guys grew up with each other, I believe.
Yeah, so I know Bastian for, I think, 14, 15 years now almost. Louis since 10 years now already as well. Kun I know fresh, but he's a brother from another mother, of course. So yeah, no, it's, dude, like building products, companies with your friends is, you know, awesome. It's just awesome.
That I can appreciate that. You know, I'm here. building my own brand right now, and working with some really talented individuals, and it's really interesting. Even my sister now, is supporting me, so it's really great to even have family involved, and to your point, just in the trenches with people love and trust, and so anyways, but so it sounds like shifting gears back to NFTs. So NFTs aren't dead, is what you're telling me.
No, floor prices are just in general across all chains except for the My Lady, the My Lady NFTs. But then again, it shows community cult like, which is understandable. But no, in general, like NFTs are pretty much down in regards to floor price. But I think that's a very temporary thing. If you look at the early Bitcoin days, Bitcoin sometimes dumped like 90%, and then boom, it goes up 10x from there. Like it happens. It's a cycle, and you'll see that many founders of even like bigger projects, they just give up, and I think that's kind of weak. And then there's founders that are just literally waiting from the side like a cuckold, seeing their waiting for it's their turn. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think like there's some really good teams really building and fighting through it day in day out, even though they get a lot of backlash from other projects, from the community or whatever. They just keep going. I think those teams are gonna win at the end, and like we're gonna be one of them for sure.
No doubt in my mind. So when you see prices like we see today in the market, looks like we're obviously been trading sideways.
Down bad, bro. Down
Yeah,
bad.
and we're down bad. I mean, XRP is down. Looks like 10%, over 10% in the past 24 hours.
Oh shit.
What are these? What are these? Do these swings have any effect on you these days, Kai? What are your thoughts? Do you put much attention into it, being a builder in the
Nah.
space?
Nah, no, it doesn't really have an impact. Like for me, it's just what's going to be important is like when NFTs start booming again, and of course, the token market is very important as well. But current token market it doesn't really feel like a real bull run, right? It's mostly just at like meme coins pumping, like then this one goes to 1 billion and that one to 1 billion, like just that. So no, like when we're more going to the utility-centric phase of the bull market, when you see probably like Cosmos coins pumping, when you see AI coins pumping, gaming coins pumping, except for Solana, and it's basically just been Solana meme coins. It's still I like it. It's a fun period, but there's
On that
gonna
topic,
be
nope. Continue. I'm sorry.
there's got to be a broader bull run, I feel like, as well. Probably like end of August, September is what I expect. Is when you see that retail comes in, people are going home from their holidays, and then they said like it's basically you see Julia hears from her friend that it's suddenly on the screen on TV, hey, Bitcoin is above 80K. And then everybody starts FOMOing and buying random shit coins, and then everything starts pumping. Like we know, market makers gonna go pump as well. It's always how it goes. So I think we're going there, and then at the end of November, you have like the whole election phase, which is going to be very interesting as well, because both electors, I believe, are fighting for crypto. So I really hope that's going to be going well. And then you have Roaring Kitty, who's like teasing whether he's coming back or not with the whole GME stock thing, and he's with Chewy as well. Like I think it's going to be a very interesting period, very hectic. I feel like this is going to be a very disgusting bull run, like very disgustingly good. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
So disgusting means good on the other side of the pond. I like that. You dirty boy, you Kai. Well, hey, on the topic of liquidity and utility, I know that you guys had built the onXRP DEX. Curious to know what was the mission and purpose behind that. Obviously the XRPL is a DEX in its own. Is it does your platform highlight the characteristics of the underlying tech? Talk about onXRP and what you guys are seeing because of this platform you built.
Yeah, so this is basically also the start of onXRP. So when we launched the whitelist token, IOU XPUNK token, very in the beginning, what we did was we created a curated decentralized exchange interface, because like you said, the DEX is built in the XPL itself, and you can create a front-end interface that interacts with APIs, that connects to the chain or to the ledger. And it's all interconnected, which is good, sometimes bad. And good to see that OXP is pumping, by the way. And that's our token, of course. But
Congrats.
but no, what we saw happening, especially when in the beginning, when you see that, issuing a token costs what, $50, making some promises, making a cheap website, I don't know, for Wix, get some images. It is very easy to come up with a promise that people believe in, especially in a bull market, and then actually, just just lie that you're gonna give make this NFT collection. You literally need one image, and then you tell everyone like, yeah, there's gonna be a full collection, right? That's what happening. That's what basically what we did as well in the beginning. And there's some people that actually follow the word and come through, and there's other people that don't. And those that don't obviously rock. So you saw a lot of rock pulls happening based on fake promises. And we thought, okay, what if we create a safer environment to display these tokens on and display this deck? So we did set up a set of this requirements together with the community. We did KYC, and this way we basically reduced the barriers. Well, we increased the barriers to entries, especially for scammers. And yeah, it worked very well. It was the start of onXRP. Then afterwards, with that traction, we extended. We created also the NFT marketplace, and now it's gonna be the whole thing is gonna be rebranded to Bits and also gonna be launched on Corium. And it's been a very interesting journey. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, here's up on screen is the nft.onxrp.com, your website for the marketplace for NFTs.
Yeah.
So you guys are rebranding to Bits. Can you talk about that? What's empowering this transition?
Yeah, so we talked with the Corium team back, I think it was August 2023. I don't know, top of my head. I think it was August 2023. And they love what we're doing. It's also the Sologenic team. They like, we were competitors. It's funny how it went. Like, we were competitors. They have the DEX market because they have the majority of people using their DEX instead of ours. But we have the majority of the people using our NFT marketplace. So they thought like, hey, maybe there's a partnership possibility on Corium, and where you can also launch your marketplace on our chain. And we're like, yeah, that sounds very, very cool. We would love to explore it because there's a lot of intertwine between communities too. So and the chain is just really, really nice and good to build on. And you have smart contracts, so you can create like collection offers. You can actually create liquidity, and there's lots of other cool features that you can do that you can't on the XRPL. So this obviously took a lot of time and effort to build. Thankfully, we have a very smart CTO called Hank, who's also been with us from day one. And he created all the contracts, built up the team in-house. We have Philippe, who's been, grinding the back end as well. Then we have Sapun and Phil in front end. So it's a team of 4 full-time working on this now since, like December. So it's, we've learned our fair share of building product. Like, trust me, we made some major mistakes in the beginning as well, because this is the 3rd iteration of onXRP, but it's gonna be, like, in my opinion, it's gonna be tech-wise, it's gonna be top 5 marketplace from technology. And it's super smooth, super reliable. When you see it, like, there's lots of cool analytics. Like, I'm very pumped to launch this, and we're planning to launch this 25th, 26th of August this month, August, in full. So not like gradual release. Now everything's going to be launched in full, and then we're just going to extend on the things that we already built. So it's going to be super exciting, and I think that the degenerates and the people entering crypto are going to love it. And I think it also will help the reputation of XRP and also Corium, that they have this beast of an NFT marketplace that's trustworthy to build on. And when you look at this, it's still a good UI. I like it a lot. It's simple.
Yeah.
But like, Bits is gonna be that extra mile. Plus, the name Bits is just perfect.
Good for you, Kai. So with this transition going on from the marketplace to Bids to your bridging of the XRPL, so bridging the XRPL to Corium, or correct me if I'm wrong, and then doing the same for Solana. What have been some learning lessons? How have those processes compared to one another? Are you willing to share your experience?
Yeah, so learning lessons. So when you decide to go multi-chain, apparently a lot of people are going to get very angry at you. Whether they think you're flooding their bags or you're actually rugging them, I don't know.
What are you doing?
Trust me, I got threats. Like even yesterday, I got like a threat. Like I have no idea what I've done wrong. I'm like one of the few founders that's still fucking grinding for this project. And the team is like definitely one of the hardest working teams in the entire space. But sure, but yeah, no, not everybody's gonna be happy. But at the end, my goal for the whole project is just to create opportunities and mitigate risk. And just being for the XPUNKS, just being on XPL just sounded too risky to me from an NFTs perspective. This is not bashing Ripple. This is not bashing the technology of the XPL. This is just be looking where there is demand for NFTs, and there's no appetite for NFTs on the XPL. But at the end, there's not really appetite anywhere for NFTs. But yeah, so we just want to exposure, and I think Solana is also, and it still is a great fit for a community. We got good support from the foundation, which is awesome, and that is just a major difference. Whereas on the XPL, we just get ignored, like if you're a team, apart from the whole functional aspect, it's also pretty demotivating, right? If you constantly get rejections. And yeah, you can say, yeah, you just keep pushing, you chose for it yourself. Like, no, fuck no. Like at the end, we're still human. We have emotions, and at the end, we do what we think is right. We're not going away. We also didn't raise 5, 10, 15 million from the community. Hell no. We're doing this, in our own time. And so a lot of people, especially on the bit side, they just don't even get paid. I didn't even make a single cent on bits, on XRP or whatever. So then we also have Corium, which we're extending the marketplace. So it's going to go live on the XRP ledger and on Corium at the same time. So it's basically a simple switch. And again, we got massive support from the Corium Foundation, which is awesome. It's just great to see. It's just very motivating. And I just really love, building this thing together. You're creating an ecosystem. And that's the thing, what the team is doing very right is also, they're willing to spend on marketing, on projects launching, and they really care about that ecosystem. And at the end, you need an ecosystem both for the token, but also for the products that are live on that chain, because that's how you create an economically viable economy.
How has your experience been working and collaborating with former competitor Sologenics, Fabio and the team? I know they're great guys and exceptional visionaries. Any takeaways or boastful comments?
No, they've been a blessing to work with. Like honestly, no, I've nothing bad to say about Fabio.
No. I was hoping you could underscore. Underscore why they're so great.
No, they're a lot of fun. No, I think they're awesome. They know what they're doing very well. They are talented people, and love working with them.
Awesome. Anybody else or any other partnerships that you are willing to disclose or share?
Yeah, so on the partnership front, it's been a little bit quiet because we're so focused on building. But I think, the biggest partnership from the last 6-7 months would definitely be Corium.
Corium.
Like we're working together with a major layer one that is still in its infancy, and we're extending the entire user base over there, and just creating an actual ecosystem, which I think is going to be awesome. And I know that Corium team can't wait for us to launch either, because at the end we're ready. I think we're about 1 or 2 months delayed, which in software development happens quite often. And we created a scope that was way bigger than we initially pitched. Like when we first pitched it to Corium, it was basically just we're gonna add the Corium to onXRP, and now we're with the team like, hey, wait, Corium in onXRP doesn't really work. We're gonna launch on Corium, like doesn't really fit. So we started thinking, and then we wanted that, and suddenly you're building this massive product that's like 2 or 3 times the size that you initially planned. But at the end, we will have something of fucking amazing quality. So I'm very excited to do this. I'm very excited for Corium and the community. Also, to have a place that they can say is home, and act on some degeneracy.
What I have on stage is or on the screen right now is a clip of Fabio on stage with I believe with Nancy Beaton. I believe she's not CMO.
Uphold.
Oh yes, of Uphold.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
100%. But I'm trying to. I don't want to butcher her title. Regardless, she's a C-suite executive for Uphold, and Fabio as well as a very intelligent and determined individual. Also, he's got some really good style. He always shows up on stage with no socks or something, some good flair. Kind of how you guys showed up at Portugal, in that European swag. But while I have you here, Kai, and I know that we're getting close to wrapping things up. I appreciate you sharing your time with me today. And but what's any other things worth sharing of what's next on the roadmap for any of the projects that you're working on that you're willing to share? Yeah, the stage is yours, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Like we obviously have bits end of month. That's gonna be very exciting. Gonna be a lot of sleep deprived nights. I'm sure, but it's gonna be super cool. Then we have the 3D art extension for XPUNKS. Basically, everybody gets a 3D interpretation of their XPUNK added to their existing NFTs. So we're not asking for more money. You don't even need to do anything. We're still thinking whether we should only enable this on Solana, just because. But we're not sure. But if there's anyone against this, please let me know because I'm always willing to talk. And then we also have, of course, eating. Like I really can't wait to start streaming that shit. And I expect, yeah, maybe like 2 weeks, three. I don't know. I hate giving timelines for eating because I'm so bad with timelines when it comes to game development. It's so hard. Like with a product, especially like with a platform. It's basically I always envision it as like 2D and 4D. It's not even 3D game development because there's so many systems you need to take care of. And then
Yeah.
there's the optimization of assets. There's the backend. Then there's also the architecture. Like it's so complex. If you're not a developer yet, right? So with building a product like Bits, that's already huge, But games is different. It's
It's
just
a
different.
it's a little different than just building a dust to interpretation map on Counter
Way
Strike.
different, dude.
Yeah.
Way different. It's like there's a reason that some games just get postponed for like 3, 4, 5 years. It's just so difficult to get things right. And that's one thing that I really learned is that in order to do this, you really need the best people you could find. And that is like something that all, major CEOs say, get the good team. But when you're building a game, you really see the difference, like we work together with past teams on Eden as well. But now the team we have, and they're younger. They're like, I think they're like 25, 26, 27, but they're so fucking talented. They've been doing this since like 14, 15, super talented people. So yeah, I can't really wait to show the updates, and the updates are going so much faster. We're going like, I think probably like 6-7 times as fast as before, even though we had to start from almost from scratch. It's like so bad.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's going a lot faster. And I think 3, 4, maybe 5 months, we'll have the first light version of Eden out there. And I can't wait.
It's there's not enough time in the day to sometimes meet these goals. I know that our intentions or your intentions are pure, honest, and 100%, you're focused, but there's just some things that are out of our control. And there's, as mentioned, I just, from speaking from building my own brand and platform, it's there's always minor setbacks, but that's what I believe, by overachieving those setbacks and being that resiliency or that grit is really what defines us as entrepreneurs. And so kudos to you. I would love, what would you be willing to share your Warzone handle for those in the audience, Kai? I mean, maybe I might buy an Xbox.
Honestly, I don't know what my handle is. Like I'm called Brett Punkhouse, but I'll send it. I think it's your Activision ID with like numbers. I'm not sure what I
Okay.
chose there. But I'll send it to you for sure.
Y-
Yeah, hop in.
y-
We're
y-
gonna be doing some regular streams. Like we have the whole setup and shit. Like
Really?
we did like 3 tests. I think you were on one of them, right? Like, I remember vaguely that you were in the chat box of one of these stream tests.
Oh, yeah. I might have been in the chat
Yeah,
box tuning in.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be doing that on a consistent basis in the very near future, and then I'll invite you. You can
So,
jump.
and the whole point is, are you guys trying to build that community so when you do launch Eden, that the audience will be there? Is that
Yeah,
what the
exactly, exactly.
what a great idea. What a great idea. Well, speaking of from experience, Edens are always tough to develop. I know my daughter is 3, but I've been telling you, Edens are very rewarding. So I have no doubt that you're going to have a great, fruitful future, just like I am over here on the other side of the pond. But any last words on the future growth potential of NFTs or anything that you'd like to leave with the audience before we close things out?
No, just like to say, like, we're not going anywhere. And I know that when the broader NFT market or crypto market gets a little bit down or just turn to shit, which happened in the last couple months here, just talk to us. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're here building the same thing that we promised like years ago, that we were not doing anything different. We're extending, we're expanding, and we're grinding day in, day out. So if there's always anything, always feel free to hop in our Discord. Always, if you tag me, I'll always respond, like many of you know, unless I'm sleeping, of course. Then sometimes those notifications just go away and I just don't see it. But yeah, just tag me, and always there for you guys.
There's no time for sleep, Kai. Oh, actually, last question. Anything or insights or comments about any competitors in the market before we go? I know that you did.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we always have some public beef with XRP Cafe, which I think is kind of funny. But,
really?
I'm in the DMs with Sloppy like quite often. It's just like it's all banter. Like, well, not all banter. That like that still has to be blocked, which is kind of weak. But yeah, no, it's it happens. We're winning again. Like, we haven't invested any resources into onXRP probably since like January, and now I saw today that like we're already over like the monthly volumes again above XRP Cafe, which I think is funny because we haven't done anything yet. So when Bits launches, yeah, we're gonna obliterate all competition, obviously, with on Choreo and XPL. We'll see what's next. So yeah, it's interesting times.
Very much so. And food for thought. Keep this in the back of your mind. I'm working with some XRPL developers as well, and we're building out a way for me to tokenize some of my media, my content. Maybe there's ways that I could push some of those to your platform in the future, and
definitely do it
and monetize accordingly.
If you put a nice picture in front of it, you have an NFT, a non-fungible way of tokenizing your thing, and I'm happy to help you launch it.
Oh, I have one image that I would love to get NFT, but I don't think Luis would appreciate it. So I'll keep it off. I'll keep it off the screen for right now.
Sounds good.
Well, Kai, it's been such a pleasure and privilege to catch up, and kudos to you and the team, and for the success and the resilience. Because as you mentioned, we're in a bear market, but this is where the winners are defined. I think through this shakeout, it's really going to underscore who are the determined market participants, who are the gritty mother effers that are going to really lead the way in this evolution of blockchain, Web3, and the future of tech. But anyways, I'll let you go. I'll drop into the war zone with you guys when you're in there. I do want to say love you mucho. We got so many audience members today. We're over 300 right now. So I just want to say, yeah, I love you all mucho. Thank you, Kai, for the opportunity to hop into the seat with you.
Which always did, right? Like,
yeah. You got to. There we go. We got to go. The more shakes, the more mooch, the more love.
The more mooch.
Exactly. Well, hey, I'm gonna put you on the backstage for one hot second, if you don't mind, and then I want to close things out and just pick your brain for one hot moment.
Sure thing, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. It's been, again, such a great honor to have you.
Likewise, pleasure's always mine.
Thank you, sir. Well, hey guys, thank you all for tuning in. If you thought today's content was entertaining, impactful, please make sure to smash the like and subscribe button, as it really helps me lift this channel off the ground. If you have any questions for me or Kai, feel free to leave them in the questions or those questions in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer those in the order which they were received. Next week on Tuesday, August 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be hopping into another live stream with Sean McBride. He's a former director of global talent acquisition at Ripple, an ex-Google, an ex-Amazon. Sean is a really good dude, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him next week. So I hope you all join me next week, and I hope you all have more importantly, have a great rest of your week. Great day. And again, Kai, if you're listening, thanks again for tuning in. And I look forward to having you back on very soon. Appreciate you.
Sounds good, man. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Luis got to come on too.